Welcome to another story made by Oracle One. The gray clouds hung low over the city, casting a dull, damp hue over the streets. Rain had been falling steadily for days, the kind of relentless drizzle that soaked into your bones and made umbrellas the most precious commodities. On mornings like these, the rhythmic pattering of raindrops against fabric filled the air, mingling with the distant sound of hurried footsteps and the occasional honk of car horns maneuvering through slick streets. Among the multitude escaping the rain beneath their canopies was Clara, a young woman with chestnut hair tucked hastily into a bun and a warm caramel coat that offered her some shelter from the chill. Her black umbrella was a simple design, nothing flashy, just a subtle patterned canopy that bore the faintest lavender tint visible in direct sunlight. It was her cherished shield against the relentless wet weather. Every morning, Clara took the same walk from her apartment to the corner cafe where she worked. The route wasn't long, a few blocks filled with cozy shops and the sweet scent of baked bread, and during these few minutes between home and work, she could gather her thoughts before the day truly began. The umbrella was her steadfast companion, a small but important piece of her routine. But recently, things had become complicated. It all started on a Monday morning, one particularly dreary day that seemed to stretch on endlessly. The rain had started just as Clara left the building, pulling her umbrella open with the care one saves for fragile treasures. She joined the flow of people along the sidewalk, her steps confident despite the soggy pavement. When she reached the cafe, she handed her umbrella to the barista behind the counter for safekeeping until her shift ended. She worked diligently, fetching orders and chatting with regulars, the cozy interior a warm reprieve from the wet. When her shift came to an end hours later, she returned to the stand where umbrellas were stacked, expecting to retrieve hers. But it was gone. She scanned the scattered collection, her brow furrowing. There were similar umbrellas, yes. A black one with a plain matte finish, another with a floral pattern, but none matched her delicate lavender-tinged one. She could have sworn it was the only one like it in the cafe. The reality sunk in. Someone had taken her umbrella by mistake, or worse. Leaning against the counter, her lips pressed into a thin line, she tried to suppress a sinking feeling inside. "I'm sure it's just a mix-up," the manager told her, offering a half-hearted smile. Rainy days always mess things up. Nevertheless, Clara left the cafe umbrella-less, stepping into the drizzle without her usual protection. She made her way home soaked and chilly, vowing to be extra careful the next day. Tuesday morning arrived, and so did the rain. Dark clouds gathered, and Clara prepared herself once again, grabbing the familiar black umbrella from the stand by her door. She was running late and hurried along the city streets, crosses and stops blurring as her thoughts swirled. She reached the cafe, entering with a quick nod to the barista, and handed over her umbrella. The afternoon passed in a blur, and when the shift ended, Clara returned for her umbrella. But again, it wasn't there. A sinking dread gripped her once more. This time, however, curiosity pricked at her alongside frustration. "Are you sure you didn't mix them up?" she asked the barista, anxious. "No," came the reply. "Someone's been taking umbrellas by mistake lately. We had a few complaints." Clara frowned slightly, deciding to wait in the tiny cafe for a moment, observing the small entrance area where umbrellas were kept. Just as she prepared to leave empty-handed again, she noticed a man exit the cafe nearby. He was tall, with dark, slightly unkempt hair that fell casually over his forehead, dressed in a navy coat. In his hand was an umbrella, her umbrella. The very same one, with the faint lavender tinge. Her heart skipped a beat. She stepped outside just in time to see him disappear onto the wet sidewalk, the umbrella shielding him easily from the rain. Without thinking, Clara called out, "Excuse me." He paused, looking back, a flicker of surprise in his dark eyes. You have my umbrella, she said, her voice steady but firm. He blinked, then lowered the umbrella. Oh, this? I might have picked it up by mistake. Sorry about that. His voice was calm, polite, but there was an undercurrent of something else, something almost hopeful. Clara took a step closer. You've had it 2 days in a row. The man chuckled, a low, genuine sound. Seems like I have a problem with umbrellas. And you've never thought to just talk to me instead? She teased, crossing her arms. He smiled, sheepish but sincere. Honestly? He nodded. That's exactly why. Clara's eyebrows shot up. Why would you need to steal my umbrella to talk to me? The man sighed, a warm look in his eyes despite the drizzle. Because I'm terrible at starting conversations. You look interesting, like someone who loves rainy days even when they're inconvenient. Clara couldn't help the smile that tugged at her lips. And that's what made you want to talk to me? Yeah, I noticed you came in every morning, always with that umbrella. It's like part of you. I figured if I had your umbrella, maybe I could find a reason to cross paths with you, he confessed. The vulnerability was disarming. Clara looked at him, the rain now less of an annoyance and more of a shared experience. Well, now you've got me talking. He extended the umbrella toward her. Fair is fair. I'll return it. Taking it, her fingers brushed his for a fleeting moment, and a spark seemed to dance between them despite the wet air. Thanks, Clara murmured. I'm Adrian, he said, offering a hand. Clara, she replied, shaking his hand. From that moment, an unspoken understanding blossomed between them. They began to exchange small smiles each morning at the cafe, their greetings evolving into playful conversations over coffee and rainy days that promised something more. Each morning, Adrian would appear just as Clara stepped out into the drizzle, an umbrella always in hand. Sometimes it was hers, other times it was his, but always, it was the starting point of their day. One particularly rainy Thursday, Clara arrived to find Adrian waiting near the cafe entrance, his coat damp but smile bright. I have something for you, he said, producing a small package wrapped in brown paper from his bag. Curious, Clara unwrapped it to find a delicate silver umbrella charm, embossed with tiny raindrops. It's for your umbrella, so you never lose it again, Adrian said, cheeks tinted with a soft blush. Clara felt warmth flood her chest. It's perfect. Their connection deepened with each shared moment, the stolen umbrella no longer a source of confusion but a symbol of the start of something tender and real. Months later, as the rains began to soften into spring showers, Clara found herself standing beneath the cafe's awning, waiting for Adrian. When he arrived holding 2 umbrellas, one his, and one matching hers, they walked out into the drizzle together. I guess I owe you a real apology for stealing your umbrella so many times, Adrian said with a grin. Clara laughed. You can't help it. I think it's part of the charm. He reached for her hand, his touch warm and reassuring through the cool air. And maybe, he whispered, it was my clumsy way of finding you. As they strolled side by side, sheltered under their umbrellas, the rain no longer felt like an inconvenience. It was a bridge, a connection, a melody playing just for the two of them. In the end, the rainy days were not just about silver linings, but about the magic woven into stolen moments and unspoken hopes. All beginning with umbrellas and you. For more stories, like and subscribe.